All right. Shalom, Salaki. Give me 1 second, and we'll get started. See. Yeah, Salaki. Give me 1 second, and just gotta do something real quick, and we get started. All right. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I wanted to address this or deal with this comment, all right, that was put up by the brother Racha Gabar 144. And this was based on a video that I did yesterday that was brothers beware of your thoughts, okay, which it wasn't a video on women per se, but just more so, being able to control your thoughts in wherever, whatever field it may be. Okay. Although I did give an example dealing with women and adultery and, that kind of situation. All right. Trying to drive the point home. But ultimately in this lesson, it's like I said, it's not going to be a long lesson. I have only a few precepts here, but I want to, Lord willing, deal with this question. So the brother said, Shalom Ak. So humble question. If she's single and not a virgin, is that all right? And if we knock one up who is single and not technically a prostitute, but just single, and we don't want no relationship, that's fine, right? That's what I gathered. I gathered from listening to you, Akim. I just don't want my understanding flawed the water. So dealing with the first part about if she's single and is not a virgin, is that all right? Now, actually, um, there's a comment here, it was by 144K that says, if a female is not a virgin, regardless if she's in a relationship, regardless if she's quote unquote with someone or quote unquote taken or not, she's off limits, period. Khan, Yahweh don't tolerate adultery. And, one thing I'll say is when dealing with this topic, or subject, it falls under one of those categories because at the end of the day, we have to factor in, the fact that we're in captivity, okay, and the fact that you're not, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to follow or keep, to the T. All right, just putting women aside for now, for example, just things in general that we are supposed to do. All right, there's certain laws in the scriptures that we are supposed to keep literally right off the bat from birth, you know, and we're not able to do that because we're in the land of our captivity. So we got to do the best that we can. So now coming back to address this question, starting with if she's single and not a virgin, is that all right? Well, you got to understand that in this society, for the most part, damn near every woman that you possibly dealt with, it's not, especially not today with all the over sexualization and the promiscuity that's going on. It's the chances of you finding a woman that's a virgin, that's bathwala, that's never known a man before, it's slim to none. Okay, so in this society, majority of the women you're gonna find, they're gonna not be virgins, but that's just something you got to deal with. Okay, now if you say, all right, well, she's not a virgin, now she's not dealing with anybody, she doesn't have a man, she's just by herself, but she's not a virgin, I ain't gonna deal with that. Hey, then that's up to you. You don't deal with that. Okay. But in this society, you got to remember we're in captivity. So that you may try your best to do it, but majority of these women, whether Israelites, whether heathens, the majority of women you're gonna find are not gonna be virgins. Okay. So the best that you can do handling a situation like that is to make sure that they're not in a relationship or dealing with another man. Okay. Because at that point, then you're knowingly, and in the power, or in the power of your control, you would be committing adultery, knowing what's going on. Okay. But in this society, if let's say you have it's 98% of women are not virgins and 2% are virgins, and you can't, you ain't finding no virgins around. All right, that's something that, because the Lord has set us up in captivity, you can't really control that. So you gotta I did a video a while back called "The Best of Babylon," meaning that you got to deal with what you got, as the Apostle Paul said. All right, here in 1 Corinthians 7:31, it says, "And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away." So you got to use the world but not abuse it. Okay. You might get a woman. The Lord might bring you a woman that is not a virgin, but she might be of the elect, and the Lord might say, "Look, I want to pair her up with you." Because I'll give you an example. There's certain sisters, okay, that are, or that are in the truth now, or that are gonna come, and let me just put it like this: there's certain women that are part of the elect that are not virgins, but the Lord is gonna have certain women get paired up with certain men in that time of Jacob's trouble. Isaiah 4:1. Do you think Isaiah 4:1? Do you think all those women are gonna be virgins? No, chances are they're not. But the Lord is gonna have it to where He's gonna pair them up with, a man of the Lord, that they may what? They may be called by his name, the man's name, and they may be delivered to be his wives. Okay. Now, dealing with one aspect of it, when in the ancient world, there were only two, if I'm not mistaken, two reasons or ways in which you could deal with a woman, which is if she was a virgin, number one, right? And even if she's a virgin, you got to make sure she's not promised or betrothed, all right, or betrothed to another man. But you have that case aside, and in the other cases, if she's a widow, if the man that she was with died, okay. So in this truth, you move differently from the world to the best of your ability. But if you sit here and say, well, if she's not a complete virgin, because even before coming to the truth, you a lot of you dealt with women, for brothers who dealt with women, or you deal with women now, chances are the woman when you dealt with her was not a virgin. So if you want to be technical according to the law, yeah, that's adultery, because and if that man who took her virginity is still alive. But that's why we have Yahushua. That's why we have that mercy of the Lord, because that's something that you wouldn't be able to control. You can't turn her back into a virgin. You can't go around and just turn every woman into a virgin. So these are this is a part of the the tribulations or the trials that we have to go through. And as a matter of fact, this also highlights the importance of having Yahushua, because in that scenario, a good majority, all right, of brothers would be, if the Lord was to count that iniquity, would say, all right, you done. All right, but that's why he has that mercy. So you can deal with a woman that's in this society, she might not be a virgin, but so long as she's not married, she doesn't have a man, she's not talking to anybody, she's not dealing with any other man, she's by herself, then hey, you can deal with her. Okay, because that's the best you can do in this society. If the Lord brings her your way, and the Lord is like, look, I'll have her be good with you and you be good with her. What are you gonna say? Oh, Lord, she ain't a virgin, so nope, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that. And at the end of the day, like I gave the example in Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, the women that are gonna come in Isaiah 4 and 1, it ain't gonna be all these women that are coming to find you are virgins. Chances of that is not really that high, right? But yet the Lord is gonna pair them up with men of the Lord to become their to for them to become that man's wives, right? To be called by his name. See? So this is a part of the condition of being here in Babylon, and this is something that we just gonna have to deal with. Okay, there's some women that the Lord might have brought your way, and you deal with them. Now, when you got them, they weren't a virgin, but they were by themselves, as this world will call quote unquote single. And the Lord said, you know what, I'm gonna pair her up with you, and you deal with her, and the Spirit has it to where she's cool. She's helping you out, and whatever the case is, hey, then you deal with it. You take it. You take it as you get it. But don't be over righteous much, as the scriptures say. As a matter of fact, let me get that first second. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? So in this society, there are certain things that we ought that by law where we have to do or we shouldn't do, but based on how we are, as Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23, all things are lawful for me, but not all things Slakia, but all things are not expedient, right? All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. So there may be certain things that they're lawful, but they're not expedient. It's not really a possibility for you to do that, in this time or in this captivity. So you got to, do the best that you can in this captivity, which goes to show you, as Isaiah said, it says in Isaiah that all our righteousness is as a filthy rag. Because even when going through the process of saying, all right, I see this chick, but I'm gonna find out if she has a man or not before I deal with her, right? And thinking that you're at least doing something, attempting righteousness to make sure, okay, she's not dealing with anybody, so I can deal with her. Guess what? Technically, that's why it's a filthy rag, because technically, if she's not a virgin, then either way, and if she's not a virgin or a widow, then either way, it would still technically, according to the law, be going off. Okay, but that's not the only aspect or field, of things according to the law that we are either supposed to do or not supposed to do. But because of this captivity, we can't help it. Another example is working on the Sabbath, right? According to the law, you ain't supposed to work on the Sabbath, but we're in captivity. So if they tell you we're gonna fire you if you don't come to work, then what are you gonna do? Are you gonna say, no, absolutely under no circumstances am I gonna work because it's the Sabbath and the law says it's the Sabbath? Well, guess what? Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? What's gonna happen? You gonna get to the point where you're like, yeah, I didn't go to work, I got fired, I can't pay my bills, and now I'm out here. So what happened? And I believe the Apostle Paul said it is better to marry than to burn. So if you burning, there's this chick you're trying to deal with, but because she's not a virgin, though she's not dealing with anybody else, you burning out here, and you like, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? All right, so that's dealing with the first part of the question, right? If she's single and is not a virgin, is that all right? Well, I'd say, look, in this society, because we're in captivity and because majority of the women that you're going to find aren't going to be virgins, the best that you can go with, hey, if the Lord blesses you with a virgin, that's tawab, that's beautiful. But the best you can go with is just making sure that she's not dealing with any other man while you're dealing with her. Make sure that, look, she ain't talking to nobody. He ain't a side piece, work bit, none of that. Okay, then in this society, you go ahead and you do what you got to do. All right, because understand that we cannot keep these things perfectly. All right, so the next part of the question was, and if we knock one up who is single and not technically a prostitute, but just single, and we don't want no relationship, that's fine, right? Well, now we got to deal with that aspect, because before going into that, there's this video that I watched. It was put up by I forget his name, but one of the elder brothers here in Chicago, and his channel is GMS Chicago On Air Live 2. And I'm gonna put the link to this video in the in the comment section, because it's a very good video, and I recommend brothers to watch that, because he deals with, as it says here, Akim, if you deal with Jake women, intend to keep them, otherwise deal with the castles. And he goes on to explain in the what he means by the castles is really these heathen women, right? So addressing the second part here, say there's a woman that's she's not a prostitute, right? But she's single, she's out here, and you basically want to hit and quit, you want to hit and bounce, right? Do whoop, all right. But if she's an Israelite woman, and you're gonna deal with her, you got to deal with her to the best of your ability as an Israelite woman. Meaning, don't just deal with her and then you guys you do what you do, and then boom, you just out of here. All right. If you plan to deal with her, don't just go around just, I'm gonna just grab a chick, grab, hit release, grab hit release. Okay. If you see a chick and you're like, all right, she's single, I want to deal with her, then deal with her. But don't just, all right, I'm done, I'm fed up with you, I'm just throw you away somewhere. Okay, because at the end of the day, remember that they're Israelite women, and there's a way that we are supposed to deal with Israelite women. Now, given we're not in the ancient world, neither are we in the kingdom, to where it's like, I married her and she's my wife and I can't, but you gotta, you know, do your best to be in that mindset to the best of your ability. So if she's dealing with you and you're dealing with her and you guys are okay, don't just up and, all right, I'm gonna throw you away, I'm done somewhere. Because now it's still on a softer level, emitting the same kind of concept as to where a man just ups and stops dealing with this woman, and eventually she's like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna go and deal with another man committing adultery because my man don't want to deal with me. So technically, it's not that you've married her and you just up and put her away for no reason, and now she's out there going and committing adultery. But it's sort of around that same ballpark, and you don't want to emit that kind of behavior. If you dealing with a chick, she's single, when you're dealing with her, deal with her. Okay. Oh, so the video wasn't available. Let me see. I don't know if I copied the link wrong, or Slack it. Let me take a look and see. All right, no, it's showing on my end. When I click on the link through the chat. So, but what I'll do is, Lord willing, I'll share the video and I'll also put in the description box. So if it's not working through the chat, you can get access to it in the description box. Okay. So like I said, I recommend watching this video because he covers it. He goes into it very well. Remember, we're renewing our minds to be kingdom minded. So even in how you deal with women, there's a way to go about it. Yeah, women are not on the same level as men, but it doesn't mean that, all right, she's just a woman, I'm gonna just throw her around like a piece of meat and treat her like, the scriptures say, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, but you can't let that, that's my put up. So that means if you go and, for example, you go to the store and you buy a new pair of sneakers, right? Okay, it's yours. Does that mean just because it's mine, I'm gonna just pick it up, throw mud in it, burn it, throw it out the window just because it's mine and I can? No. So you want to, deal with these women in a right as righteously as you can. Okay. So don't just, I'm gonna just grab her. And if you plan to deal with her, then you deal with her. Okay. Now, here's the case. You may be dealing with a woman, because I have a precept here in the book of Matthew 19, and it says here 19:9, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife except it be for fornication, right? Adultery, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. So what is it saying here? It's not that a man is committing adultery by putting away his woman, but he is causing her to commit adultery because she is gonna go. Technically, she's still her. She is still gonna be, bound to him because he's alive. And the law says the woman either reconciles back to the man or she stays single so long as he's alive. Now, the woman is going to feel that burn, that heat, and eventually the chances are she's going to go and deal with somebody else because those needs don't just disappear just because you put her away. So she's still going to have those needs and that itch, so to speak, and she's going to try and get it dealt with another way, and that's going to be committing adultery because you're still alive. So it's not you're not supposed to just up and put her away just because, oh, she annoyed me. The chicken she made didn't taste as good as it did last week, so I'm not dealing with you anymore. You get out of my house. You go do what you got to do. Right? That's Matthew 19:9. But now here's a situation. Remember that we're in captivity. So you may be dealing, you may be dealing with a chick, and then she becomes a demon. And now she's trying to like take away from you being productive in the word or pushing the truth or that kind of thing. Then hey, you got to cut her off. Because at the end of the day, what's the utmost importance? The utmost importance is the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is doing this work. So if she's coming in the way of that, then you're gonna need to use wisdom and make the right decision. If you feel that staying with her is gonna, mess you up and be a detriment to you in this truth, you're gonna need to use wisdom. See, a lot of these situations, you got to be able to you spiritually discern, all right, what's the best decision to make in this situation? As a man, as an Israelite man in captivity, okay, knowing what I know, what's the best way to move in this situation? Because there's sometimes we're put in situations that don't fall directly within a law. It falls like a little in between somewhere where you're doing. It's like I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those situations, right? David goes and he asks he eats the shewbread, for example. Those kind of situations, and it's like I'm hungry, right? Or the disciples, getting the corn and eating it on the Sabbath day, and these Pharisees coming and saying, "Hey, look, it's the Sabbath. What y'all doing?" That kind of thing, right? So like I said, at the end of the day, or another case is if you're dealing with her, but she's like, nah, no matter what, I don't want to. I'm good. I'm leaving. I'm trying to do this no more. Hey, look, what you gonna do? You can't really do much there. So at that point, she's trying to leave. Look, she can go. There's nothing you can really do. Okay, but to sum it all up, don't just go and say, all right, well, she's an Israelite woman. She's single. I'm gonna deal with her, and then when I just get tired of her, I'm gonna just throw her to the side somewhere, and I'm gonna just go deal with another one. Because think about it, like if you were in the ancient world, what would you be doing? You would just be taking a chick, dealing with her, and just throwing her to the side. You're gonna cause her to go off and deal with another man and commit adultery in that way. Okay, in modern society, it's called producing psychopaths, where a man deals with a chick when she's fresh, he damages her, messes up her mind, and then releases her out into the ocean, into the public for somebody else to go deal with that. You know, but that's not a kind of mindset you want to carry. Being kingdom minded, you want to lean more towards dealing as righteously as you can. Okay, the situation, being the captivity we're in and the circumstance we're in, may not be the best. It may not be ideal, but what's the best that you can do given what you're given? That's how we got to operate in this kingdom, in this society. What's the best that we can do, right? given what we've been given. We can't do it perfectly, but what's the best we can do without being over righteous? Because if you sit here and say, well, I'm gonna be over righteous on this, listen, man, as the scripture say, you're gonna destroy yourself. All right. So to sum it all up, addressing the question that was asked, the first part which says, um, right, that's it. What would an elect do, right? The first part says, if she's single and is not a virgin, is that all right? Well, in this society, if she's single, she ain't dealing with no other man, then hey, if you want to deal with her, then you can deal with her. Okay, because if you sit there and say, I'm waiting for a virgin, and you look at society today, damn near girls in middle school getting losing their shit. So where are you gonna find that at? Right? And then the second part it says, and if we knock one up who is single and is not technically a prostitute, but just single, and we don't want no relationship, that's fine, right? Well, if you going to want to deal with that, on a whatever, because think about this. Say you get a chick, right? And you want to play friends with benefits with her. You want to say, all right, we just gonna be F buddies. Guess what? Either she's catching feelings, or in her mind, she's like, oh, okay, I'll be F buddies with you. And then I'm gonna deal with this other dude on the side because obviously we're not in a relationship, we just F around. So chances are you're gonna have a situation where the chick is like, I'm dealing with some dude on the side, but whenever he acts up and I need to, you know, deal with my urge, I'm gonna just come to you since we're just F buddies, and then I'm gonna go back to yada yada yada. And now you are in a situation where you're thinking, oh, Shorty just what you think she just sits there all day and waits, and then whenever you ready, she just whoop, and then she just sits there all day again. No, she gonna want to deal. She gonna want to have somebody there that can take her out, can buy her things, can do all those kinds of things, and those are things you technically do in a relationship. So if you're gonna deal with a chick and say, nah, we ain't gonna be in a relationship, we just gonna, do what we gonna do, she's gonna seek that elsewhere. And you may not know about it, but now you may be in a situation where she's dealing with some other dude, but she's also messing around with you, and you don't want to end up in that situation. So to even avoid anything remotely close to that, if you're gonna deal with a chick, you're gonna pop her and try to have that. If you say, look, she is all right, she doesn't have a man, she's quote unquote single, and I want to deal with her, and she's an Israelite woman, deal with her as best as you can, knowing that you're dealing with an Israelite woman. Now if she becomes a demon, she starts messing with your productivity in this truth, and you got to let her go, then let her go. Okay. But if that's not the case, and you're pleased to dwell with her and she's pleased to dwell with you, then keep her. Don't just use her and dump her to the side somewhere. Keep her. And also keep in mind that you never know if a woman might be of the elect, because she might not be in the truth. She might not believe what you believe, but the Lord might say, I'm going to deliver her. And you never know. So you don't want to just treat, oh, she's single, but hey, we in captivity, so hey, I'm gonna just pop and throw away somewhere. No, it's about how you carry yourself. How do you move? All right, because our heritage isn't get a woman and just yada yada. No, it's get a wife. But in this society, obviously, that's not the case. But you just do the best that you can, okay, and move as righteously as you can. Now, if you want to deal with a heathen woman, just make sure she's not dealing with nobody else, okay. But I'm gonna say this: when dealing with these kinds of situations, you got to read the laws, read the scriptures, read how our ancient forefathers moved in these situations, pray and use discernment, because we can provide you information the best we can according to the laws and the scriptures that are written. But when it comes down to a detailed level of your specific instance, right? I'm just speaking generally here, right? Your specific instance, oh, I was talking to this chick and she said this and I said this and then she said this. Or what should I do? Or do you think I could have done that? That's between you and her. As the scriptures say, the way between the man and his maid, that you're going to need to figure that out. You're gonna need to be your own man in that situation, and use discernment as to, okay, well, how should I go about this? That's why you got the scriptures and so on and so forth. But if you have a question, generally speaking, on, okay, well, scripturally, how are we supposed to maneuver in a situation like this? Then, hey, you're more than welcome. Put the comment on there, put the question on there, and ask. Okay, so hopefully, that was able to bring a bit of clarity to this brother's question, and just keep that in mind. All right, keep that in mind, because we in Babylon and we in captivity. So if all of us was to sit here and say, look, I ain't dealing with no woman because she's not a virgin, then I guess you ain't gonna be dealing with any woman for a while then. So Lord willing, like I said, that was edifying, and I was able to clarify the brother's question. And remember that we're under these curses. So we got to do the best that we can. But the most important thing right now is seeking the kingdom of heaven and doing the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. When Yahushai comes down, he's going to change our bodies. He's going to put the laws within us, and that mercy, he's going to cleanse us, and then we're going to be able to fully deal with, keep every law 100% and everything to the T. We're going to deal with pure virgins, and at that point, it's going to be good. But right now, as Paul said, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient. And you can use the world as not abusing it. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Brachah, Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.